Hey, what's going on everybody out there? I'm Jakejames Lugo and welcome to the channel. So let me talk about something that people were talking about yesterday on social media and some stuff that I've mentioned before here on the channel. But I want to deep dive into everything and really get to the heart of the issue here. Why is it that everybody hates games media? Now, I'm obviously painting a broad stroke there, but I'm going to make a point about that in just a second. There's a lot of people that seem to have some sort of vendetta or some sort of chip on their shoulder about games media in general. Whenever you see a bunch of people kind of discussing a review or, again, something that they normally disagree with, especially if it's a low score for a game that they really love, they tend to demonize the entire outlet or demonize everybody that's involved within the industry. I find this to be a very unfair mindset and something that's just not a good way of thinking. You see so many people, whenever there's a new IGN review that comes out, or whenever there's a new GameSpot review, or a new Game Trailers review, at least back in the day, or Giant Bomb, or Kotaku, Polygon, the list goes on. Whenever people see these reviews and it's something that they disagree with, they tend to think that the entirety of the outlet really feels the same about that particular game. And that's not necessarily true, especially with everybody else that works for those respective websites. Again, you see this with people that go on social media, go on Twitter in like 140 characters, try to say that all of games media is dying or that all of games media is one thing or another because of their one game that got a bad review score based off of one person's opinion. And that's the point that I want to drive home. A review, even though it's mostly subjective in essence like that, based off of objective facts about a game, it's really one person's opinion on that particular game. It's not a collective of opinions about that particular game when it comes to reviews from major websites. People have to stop kind of generalizing a lot of the statements that are made about one review or another in representation about the entire outlet. Not all the people that work for Kotaku or not all the people that work for GameSpot feel the exact same way about every single game that's been reviewed. The reason why I'm going to talk about this and what prompted this whole discussion on social media was the review of Crash Bandicoot n.sane Trilogy over on GameSpot. The game got a 6.0 out of 10 in its entire review, and the writer there kind of really wanted to cite or wanted to make the point that a lot of these games that are included in the trilogy are really archaic in nature. There's a lot of good visual kind of upgrades and up-to-date kind of stuff done to those games, the original Crash Bandicoot games on PlayStation 1 that is, but in essence the actual gameplay from Crash 1, 2, and 3 is kind of outdated, and at least that's the point that he was trying to make. While myself personally, I don't necessarily agree with that, I can understand the logic and the rationale of where it's coming from. And he actually supported all of his different opinions about the game within that review. Now, obviously, the biggest issue with this is that not many people really go through the entire review and actually read it out. Most people, whenever they see a review online, whether it's from the bigger outlets or the smaller outlets, they just go straight to the bottom and look at the score. They go and look at the kind of like final summary of that review, which is usually summarized in some sort of score out of 10 or out of 100, whatever have you. And everybody saw this 6 out of 10 and everybody freaked out because they looked at some of the bullet points that were included with the score, and the immediate conclusion or assumption, I should say, was that the person that was reviewing this game didn't like it or didn't like the n.sane Trilogy because they felt that it was too hard and that they felt that because they weren't able to get over the difficulty or the challenge of the game, that immediately it was a bad game. And that's not necessarily true. But even going further, to get back to my point, they took that same score and immediately said that this is why that games media is failing. This is why that games media is dying. This is why everybody that's in games media or games journalists are all bad. And I really dislike that actual phrasing. I really dislike that actual line of thinking. I don't think it's actually fair to a lot of other people, myself included, that consider themselves professional journalists, that consider themselves games media, that do reviews out there and probably have different varying opinions about the same games. Again, why is it that someone like me has to suffer or like other people have to suffer or get condemned for the opinion of one other person that you disagree with? This is the problem that I've seen over the last couple of years that people really need to get out of. It's like we're so kind of, caught up on the emotion of the moment, especially with social media because there's information being exchanged so fast that immediately we just make these generalized statements without actually thinking about them. So many people that I saw on Twitter that were so upset about that GameSpot review score immediately were just, again, jumping on the bandwagon saying that this is why games media is dying. Is one review score, really think about this, is one review score really going to be representative of everybody that's in the industry here? At least all the people that consider themselves journalists or work for any one of these bigger or smaller outlets. Really think about that for a second. Now, obviously, some people out there, a couple of people that I know on social media were actually going around discussing this and saying that that's obviously not true, but I really don't think a lot of people have really hammered that point home. They don't really understand that. Again, they get caught up on the hype train or get caught up in the whole kind of collective, getting so caught up in this, games media is dying thing and new media is taking over type of issue, which I really don't want to get into because I think it's a lot more complex than what one video could actually explain. But my point is this. When you see something that you disagree with, or you see a review that you're not necessarily down with, that you don't really see eye to eye with, you don't need to take that as representative of the entire outlet as a whole, but you also don't need to take that as representative of every other journalist or every other person that's included within the games industry as a whole. Because we all have varying opinions, we're all different individuals, we all feel differently about many of the games that we play. While we might feel similar in some retrospect and some different points here and there, there are never going to be two people that have the exact same opinion or the exact same emotions whenever they play a video game. This is why reviews are so varied, that some people have longer or shorter reviews, we have different review scores, and we overall take different stances on the games that we play as a whole, especially when we're so critical of them. I just don't think it's fair to be critical of the entire industry for one review that you disagree with. But either way, guys, that's just me and my opinions. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section below, and don't forget to leave me a like on this video and subscribe to the channel. Let's keep the discussion going. Let's make sure that it is civil, because I know a lot of people feel one way or another. They get very highly emotional on it, and it becomes very vitriolic all over the place. Let's try to avoid that. Let's actually try to keep the good discussion going. Again, I consider myself a games journalist, as a games media person that wants to be a professional, that does consider himself a professional since I've been doing this for so long, and I feel like I at least have a good stance and a good perspective on everything as a whole, rather than getting caught up in the emotion, rather than getting caught up on the hyperbole that gets thrown around a lot on social media. So either way, guys, I hope you enjoyed this vlog. I'll be back again with some new vlogs very, very soon. There's a lot of new content I've been doing, and a cool announcement I get to make to you guys as you're watching this vlog, if you've stood here to the end. I'm actually writing the guide on IGN for Crash Bandicoot n.sane Trilogy. I'm actually contributing and helping out to construct that guide, and I'm going to be reviewing the n.sane Trilogy over on thecoalition.com. But if you guys want to see some new content that I've actually posted up recently, there'll be links in the description box below to all the new videos and all the new types of reviews that I've been posting up over on the Coalition YouTube channel and on the Coalition website. I hope it's some stuff that you guys really enjoy and get a kick out of, because I got a couple more surprises coming down the line. But either way, guys, I will talk to all of you again very soon. Peace out, stay epic, everybody.